Okay, so the internet is like flooded with AI stuff these days. It's everywhere.
Mm.
But I gotta say, some of these deepfake videos popping up recently have really grabbed my attention.
They are getting pretty wild, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing to, swap someone's face onto another body, but the tech is advancing so quickly. Like, remember that YouTube video about Liquid Warping GAN?
Yeah.
The one that claimed to make realistic deepfakes, full body motion, from just a single image. That just blew me away.
It's definitely a game changer. It's a huge step forward from what we've seen before.
Right. Like, do you remember those older deepfakes?
Oh, yeah, the ones made with first-order motion model.
Yeah, those could only really handle faces.
Right. And not even full heads sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. So to go from that to generating full body motion,
It's pretty remarkable.
how does Liquid Warping GAN even do that?
Well, it uses a few different AI techniques.
Oh, okay. Like what?
It uses motion capture, 3D body mapping, and even something called novel view synthesis.
Novel view what now?
Novel view synthesis, basically it uses AI to kind of paint in the missing information.
So it's like the AI is looking at a picture of someone and then filling in what their back must look like based on what it knows about human anatomy. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. The AI analyzes the image and then uses its knowledge of human bodies and movements to predict and generate the rest.
Hmm.
It's ingenious, but not without its hiccups, of course.
You mean like that double-sided face glitch
Woo!
where it looks like the front of the face was pasted onto the back of the head?
That's the one.
I mean, it's kind of funny,
It is, yeah.
but also a little creepy, like unsettling when you think about it.
You're right. It's both humorous and a bit unnerving. And it highlights a key point about this technology.
What's that?
Well, it shows the challenge of creating realistic 3D models from limited information. The AI is making these educated guesses,
Right.
but sometimes those guesses are off.
Yeah, okay. So is that something that can be fixed?
Oh, absolutely. The developers are aware of the issue and are working on it.
That's good. What are they doing?
Well, they're experimenting with training the AI on both front and back images to improve the 3D models.
Makes sense. And once they iron out the kinks, what are the potential applications for that?
Oh, there are tons of possibilities. Gaming, for one.
Oh, right. The video mentioned that.
Imagine creating these incredibly lifelike video game characters
Yeah,
with a fraction of the effort and cost it takes now.
that would be huge. What about other industries?
Well, animation studios could save a ton of time and money on animating characters. You could even see it revolutionize online shopping, with virtual try-on experiences.
Oh, that's cool. See how clothes would actually look on you? Yeah, I can see the potential. It's pretty amazing.
It is.
Though I gotta say, even though the examples in the video were impressive, they still had that sort of early 2000s video game look.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
The movements were a little...
Too smooth.
Yeah, too
A
smooth.
bit artificial.
Exa-
It just shows that even though it's a big step forward, Liquid Warping GAN is still under development. It's not perfectly photorealistic yet,
Right.
but the fact that it can already generate output in 1080p is pretty encouraging.
That's true. That's pretty high definition.
It is. It's come a long way from the grainy deepfakes we used to see.
Mm.
And, the creator of the video even joked about the meme potential.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can only imagine the bizarre stuff people are going to come up with.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see where this goes and how people use it. I mean, the creative potential is huge.
Yeah, for sure.
But there's also a darker side to consider.
What do you mean?
Well, with such realistic fakes being possible, there are serious concerns about misinformation and
Yeah.
malicious use.
Right. That's a good point. Misinformation spreads so easily online already. Deepfakes could make that even worse.
Exactly. And that's something we need to discuss further.
Yeah, it is kind of scary to think about how real these deepfakes are getting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you can't even tell if something is real or fake anymore, what does that mean for, well, everything?
That's the big question, isn't it? This technology, it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Right.
On one hand, you have these amazing tools that can change creative industries, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
Think about independent filmmakers or game developers. Suddenly, they could create these awesome visuals, these complex characters, without spending a fortune.
It really leveled the playing field.
Exactly. And for businesses, think about the personalized experiences they could offer. You could try on clothes virtually, see how a new hairstyle would look on you. You could even have these AI-generated customer service reps that feel totally lifelike.
Okay, the customer service rep thing is still a little creepy to me.
Yeah, I get that.
But I see what you're saying.
But then there's the flip side. As deepfakes get better, more sophisticated, they become more powerful tools for spreading
All
misinformation,
right.
for propaganda, even for, personal
It's
attacks.
already happening.
It is, and it's only going to get harder to tell real from fake.
Hmm.
It's almost like we're entering this era where seeing is no longer believing.
Exactly.
And that loss of trust, that can be so
To
damaging.
everything, really.
Yeah. Think about journalism, politics, even just our personal relationships. If you can't trust what you see, what you hear, how do you make decisions?
Right.
How do you know what to believe?
It's a lot to process. So what can we do about it? I mean, can we even mitigate the risks without, stifling the creativity?
Well, I don't think it's about shutting down innovation. It's about being cautious, being aware. Education is a big part of it. The more people understand about deepfakes, how they're made, how to spot them,
Yeah.
the less likely they are to be fooled.
So we need to become like deepfake detectives.
Yeah.
Arm ourselves with knowledge.
Exactly. And we need to invest in better detection tools.
Yeah.
There are already some promising projects using AI to identify deepfakes, but we need more research.
Fighting AI with AI. But it feels like a constant arms race, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. As the detection tools improve, the deepfakes will too.
Right.
But technology alone isn't enough. We also need to be talking about the ethical implications of this, having those conversations.
Yeah.
We need guidelines, maybe even laws to, discourage misuse.
But how do you regulate something that's constantly changing? I mean, it feels like a moving target.
It is a challenge, definitely. It's going to require a lot of collaboration.
Between who?
Governments, tech companies, researchers, the public. It's not about censorship. It's about finding a balance between innovation and protection.
Yeah, that makes sense. It
Right.
sounds like this is going to require a whole new way of thinking about, information in general.
Yeah.
How we consume it. We can't just passively absorb everything we see online anymore.
Exactly. We need to be critical, discerning, willing to question what we see and what we hear.
And that has to happen on an individual level, right?
It does, and on a societal level, too.
So it's not just about tech solutions. It's about fundamentally changing our relationship with information.
Exactly. We're in uncharted territory here,
Right.
and it's going to require all of us to be more engaged, more informed, and more responsible. We've talked about the big picture, right? The potential, the risks of deepfakes, the need for safeguards. But what about us as individuals?
Yeah, what can we do, like right now, to protect ourselves in this world where it's getting harder and harder to tell what's real?
That's a great question. That's something we should definitely explore.
It's true. So much of our lives are online now.
Mm-hmm.
And with this tech changing so fast, it feels like, I don't know, like we're about to enter a whole new world. What can we even do to, keep up? Like, what can we do as individuals in this digital world where seeing isn't believing anymore?
I think the most important thing is to really sharpen those critical thinking skills. You got to be skeptical,
Okay, yeah.
Don't just accept everything you see or hear online as fact. Ask yourself some questions. Where did this information come from? Is the source reliable? Are there any, I don't know, red flags that this could be a deep fake?
So it's like almost assume everything is fake until proven real.
Kind of, yeah. But even with how good deepfakes are getting, there are usually some clues.
Oh, like what?
Look for inconsistencies, like in the lighting, the shadows, pay attention to the eyes.
The eyes.
Yeah, like unnatural blinking or staring, that can be a sign. And sometimes you'll see blurring or distortions around the edges of the face or the body, like where the AI had trouble blending the fake image.
So it's kind of like looking for those Photoshop mistakes.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly. And don't just focus on the visuals. Listen to the audio, too.
Okay.
A lot of deepfakes, especially those using cloned voices, they'll have this, like, slightly robotic or synthetic sound.
Right. So use all your senses, not just your eyes.
Exactly. You got to actively engage with the information, not just passively consume it.
Okay, I like that.
Question the motives.
Of the creator.
Yeah. And consider different perspectives. But I think the most important thing is to check the information.
Check it.
Yeah. Cross-reference it.
With other sources?
Yeah, with multiple sources. Make sure they're reputable sources, of course.
So basically, don't just take one video or article as, the absolute truth.
Right. Do your own research. See if the information holds up. And if something seems too crazy to be true,
Yeah.
or too perfect, too aligned with what you already believe, be careful.
Okay, good advice.
Take a step back. Do
Yeah.
some digging. Make sure it's legit before you believe it, or, share it with others.
Yeah, because once it's out there online,
It's out there forever.
right. This is a lot to think about. It feels a bit, I don't know, overwhelming, like we're losing control of what's real and what's not.
I understand that feeling, but I don't think it's time to panic.
Okay.
It's more about adapting, equipping
Yeah.
ourselves with the right tools and knowledge.
To deal with this new reality.
Exactly. So yeah, don't bury your head in the sand. Be informed. Be a savvy digital citizen.
So stay informed about AI. Be critical of what you see online.
Yes,
And don't be afraid to question things.
exactly. That's a great takeaway. Question everything. Almost like, your default setting online should be skeptic until proven otherwise.
I like that. Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into deepfakes, what's the one thing you want our listeners to remember?
I want them to feel empowered, to understand that while deepfakes are, a real challenge, we don't have to let them control us.
Okay. Yeah.
We have the power to shape this technology, its impact on our world, if we learn about it, if we sharpen our critical thinking skills, and, if we're careful about what we consume and share online, we can handle this. We can navigate this new era.
That's a great point. We have a choice,
Yeah,
We're not just passive bystanders.
exactly.
Well, this has been a really fascinating conversation. It's definitely given me a lot to think about.
Me too.
And for everyone listening, remember, stay curious, stay critical, and stay informed. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.